完了完了完了啊！
In recent days, heavy rains have continuously poured over Shaanxi, Sichuan, Henan, and Hubei provinces in China, causing river levels to surge and resulting in widespread flooding. The floods have destroyed bridges and roads and caused dam breaches. On July 19th, at 9:06 a.m., the meteorological station in Shangluo, Shaanxi province, upgraded its rainstorm warning to red. By early evening, a torrent of rain triggered flash floods and landslides in Hongyangsi town, Jiashui County, Shangluo. Buildings were swept away, river channels several meters deep were filled, and floodwaters surged onto roads and into the city, inundating numerous shops and sweeping away cars. Many villagers and towns lost power and internet connectivity. The extent of casualties remains unclear.
Attention, downstream villagers. The river is rising rapidly. Look, the heavy rain continues, and the river has overflowed. Are you scared? Evacuate quickly.
This is Shangzhou District, Shangluo City. The footage shows a highway bridge being washed away by the floodwaters. Waters were rushing towards residential areas.
Oh my, we have to evacuate, friends. My home is absolutely unsafe right now.
This footage shows the Baoji Diaoyutai Reservoir releasing floodwaters after being overwhelmed by overnight torrential rain. On the night of July 16th, heavy rain in Baoji, Shaanxi, triggered flash floods and landslides. After the flood, streets are covered in mud, and many vehicles destroyed by the floodwaters are scattered everywhere, causing significant property damage.
We found the car, and it's in this state now. Unrecognizable. There's nothing we can do.
Due to the heavy rains in upstream Sichuan and Shaanxi, the water levels in the Fujiang River, a tributary of the Jialing River, rose rapidly. By 9 a.m. on July 18th, the flow rate at the Xiaoheba station had surged to 9,160 cubic meters per second. The Yangtze River Water Resources Commission's Hydrology Bureau announced that the number 2 flood of 2024 on the Jialing River had formed in the Fujiang River. In response to the flood peak, many hydropower stations along the Fujiang and Jialing Rivers are releasing water. The Tongquanba Hydropower Station in Suining, on the middle reaches of the Fujiang River, has opened all its floodgates to release water. The Jialing River, a major tributary of the upper Yangtze, merges into the Yangtze at Chaotianmen in Chongqing. On the morning of July 19th, the number 2 flood of the Jialing River and the rising waters of the Yangtze simultaneously passed through Chongqing's main urban area. The video shows the rising water levels of the Yangtze, with the riverside areas of the ancient town of Cijiko becoming the most directly affected. According to information from the Yangtze River Hydrology Network, by 5 p.m. on July 19th, the water level at Cuntan in Chongqing had risen to 178.7 meters, 1.4 meters higher than before, leaving 1.8 meters to the warning level of 180.5 meters, with a flow rate of 40,600 cubic meters per second. Simultaneously, on July 18th at 1:30 a.m., the water level at the Jiajiang Hydrological Station on the mainstream of the Qingyi River, an important river in the upper Yangtze Basin, reached 411.9 meters. The corresponding flow rate was 9,060 cubic meters per second, meeting the criteria for a designated flood event. This marked the first flood of 2024 in the Qingyi River Basin. On July 18th, at 7:30 a.m., the first flood of 2024 formed on the Fujiang River, another major tributary in the upper Yangtze Basin. The water level at the Wutongqiao Hydrological Station on the mainstream of the Fujiang River reached 339 meters, with a corresponding flow rate of 19,000 cubic meters per second. Currently, the water level in the Leshan section of the Fujiang River continues to rise. The Jinsha River, the upper section of the Yangtze River, saw its water level rise to 1,824 meters at the Shugu Station at 6 p.m. on July 18th, exceeding the warning level by 1.5 meters with a corresponding flow rate of 5,100 cubic meters per second. The Yangtze River Water Resources Commission's Hydrology Bureau officially declared the formation of the number 1 flood of 2024 in the Jingsha River at 6 p.m. on July 18th. The Qingyi River flows into the Dadu River in Leshan and converges with the Fujiang River in Leshan's central district, forming a 3-river junction, home to the world's largest stone-carved Buddha, the Leshan Giant Buddha. On the evening of July 18th, as the flood peak passed, Leshan experienced a severe rainstorm, causing widespread urban flooding and traffic disruptions. Leshan was momentarily transformed into the Venice of the East. According to Leshan's meteorological department, the rainstorm intensity was a once-in-a-50-year event, with the 24-hour maximum rainfall exceeding 200 millimeters, setting a new record. The heavy rain caused severe waterlogging on multiple roads in Leshan's urban area, with water depths exceeding 1 meter in low-lying areas, flooding underground garages, shops, and the first floors of residential buildings, resulting in significant property damage. The Leshan Giant Buddha scenic area was also affected, with water level rising at the Buddha's feet, forcing the temporary closure of the site. There have been no reported casualties, but economic losses are estimated to exceed 1 billion yuan. Due to continuous heavy rainfall and urban waterlogging, several tourist attractions in multiple cities were deserted. On July 18th, flash floods occurred in Xingcheng Mountain, Sichuan. On the same day, landslides were reported in the Jiuzaigo scenic area, Sichuan. 4 designated floods simultaneously formed in the upper Yangtze River, leading to a significant increase in water inflow. To prepare for the impending flood peak, the Three Gorges Dam has been increasing its discharge to create capacity in the reservoir. The water management authorities assign numbers to floods meeting specific criteria, including major rivers, lakes, and cross-provincial main rivers flowing into the sea. Floods with a recurrence interval of 2 to 5 years that affect local flood control safety are numbered. Since the Three Gorges Dam opened 3 sluice gates on July 10th, the discharge volume has been steadily increasing. On July 15th, 9 sluice gates were opened, releasing water at a rate of 43,000 cubic meters per second, equivalent to the water volume of Westlake in 5 minutes. On July 16th, 11 sluice gates were opened, discharging water at a rate of 52,000 cubic meters per second, equivalent to the water volume of Westlake in 4 minutes. Westlake covers 7 square kilometers and is about 3 meters deep. The equivalent of about 900 Westlakes worth of water has been discharged downstream. Imagine that. On July 18th, there were unverified reports online claiming that 12 sluice gates had been opened at the Three Gorges Dam. Due to continuous discharge, real-time data from the Yangtze River showed that at 6 p.m. on July 19th, the water level at the Three Gorges was 160.7 meters, lower than before, but still maintaining 9 sluice gates open. Normally, the reservoir level is 175 meters, but now it needs to discharge water to create capacity for incoming floods and to alleviate the pressure of multiple flood peaks passing through Chongqing. However, this has caused downstream areas, including Dongting Lake and Wuhan, to be flooded again. Some viewers may wonder why the Three Gorges Dam, with a flood control level of 175 meters, starts discharging water when the water level has only reached 165 meters. The Three Gorges Dam has an elevation of 185 meters, while the Yangtze River dikes in Chongqing have an elevation of 182 meters, with a maximum dike height of 57 meters. Observational data since 1981 shows that the water level in the reservoir area of the Three Gorges Dam is not level, creating a hydraulic slope where the water level in Chongqing is higher than that at the Three Gorges. The greater the flow, the greater the water level difference. Additionally, since Chongqing is at the tail end of the Three Gorges reservoir area, backwater from the dam raises the water level in Chongqing. If the Three Gorges were to retain the floodwater, raising the water level to 175 meters, Chongqing's water level would likely exceed the height of the Yangtze River dikes, flooding large urban areas. According to the Yangtze River Hydrology Network, the discharge from the Three Gorges Dam had slowed by 11 p.m. on July 19th, but the water levels at 2 hydrological stations near the dam remained above the warning line. Due to rainfall, the water inflow to the Three Gorges Dam upstream continues to increase. Weather forecasts indicate heavy to torrential rains in the Yangtze Basin and the northern middle-upper reaches of the Han River over the next 10 days, with some areas expecting very heavy rainfall. Due to the Three Gorges Dam discharging water, the water level of Dongting Lake has risen rapidly, threatening the safety of surrounding areas. A video taken at 4:30 p.m. on July 19th shows severe damage to the triangular dike in Yueyang City, Henan Province. The thin layer of cement on the dike has been eroded by the water, revealing the underlying soil. Local residents say this is a newly built dike from the city lumberyard to the Dongting South Road. It was built in 2022, experienced water at its base in 2023, and is facing water pressure for the first time this year. Netizens commented, "What kind of dike collapsed with just a small wave? What have the people of Yueyang done to deserve such a poorly built dike? This slope is supposed to be the best section of the dike in Yueyang. It should be the Junshan dike. If you go to the Qianliang Lake section, it's truly unbearable to look at." They didn't expect it to be used so soon when they built it, and they didn't expect it to be exposed so easily once it was used. What will happen to Yueyang if this dike breaks? While the Yangtze and Han River basins are experiencing flooding, many areas in the Qingyi River Basin have also suffered severe flood damage. On July 19th, a dam breach in Yingshan County, Fujiang, Anhui Province, caused torrential floodwaters to inundate farmlands and roads. On July 18th, a dam breach occurred in Qianjiang City, Hubei Province. Residents lamented the fragility of the riverbanks. Henan is one of the most severely affected provinces. On July 14th, it was hit by heavy rain and is now facing another wave of flooding. The devastation is compounded. Footage from the well-known blogger Ai Hua's life in Hangzhou shows the aftermath of extreme rainfall. The area is in ruins, with crops flattened, concrete roads washed away, and utility poles knocked over by the floodwaters. Locals said it was the worst rainstorm since the heavy rains of July 20th, 2021. On July 18th, a video shared by a netizen showed the entrance of a flooded residential area in Henan. "Look, the storefronts are completely flooded, and the first floors are submerged."
Our community has been draining water all day. We've been pumping water from the underground garage for over a day, but it's still not dry. The water is still very deep, and several large pumps have been running non-stop. All the cars in the basement are flooded, and the drainage system is overwhelmed. Due to heavy rainfall and the release of floodwaters, trains passing through Shaanxi and Henan had to turn back.
In Nanyang City, Henan Province, people were hurriedly evacuating with their livestock before the floodwaters arrived. An elderly man who had irrigated his fields 3 times due to drought last month now sees his crops completely submerged. The severe flooding has caused significant damage to crops, with farmers suffering substantial losses. Videos show flooded cornfields and dead fish scattered around, and greenhouses submerged in water. Some farmers lost their freshly harvested wheat when their granaries were flooded. An entire 40-acre wheat field was underwater. "Look at these corn plants, all drowned. We worked hard in the scorching heat, hauling water and irrigating the fields 3 to 4 times, using every pot and pan at home. After all that effort, one flood wiped everything out. This year has been extremely tough for farmers. The wheat we grow only sells for 1.2 yuan per pound, not even enough to buy a bottle of water. We can't even afford school fees for our children for the next semester." In Tonghe County, Nanyang City, the floodwaters have left homes in shambles. Appliances like washing machines and refrigerators were damaged, and furniture was washed away. Along the streets, all the shops were flooded. Facing sudden flood releases and heavy rains, many locals could only struggle to survive in the water. On July 15th, after the floods hit Nanyang, a man driving his car was caught in the floodwaters. His vehicle was swept away by the fierce current. Realizing the danger, he abandoned his car, swam to a nearby tree, and clung to the trunk for safety. The floodwaters quickly rose to his chest, prompting him to call for help and share his location via phone. Rescue teams found him holding onto the branches with his phone in his mouth to keep it dry, as the water had risen to his neck. After being rescued, the man told reporters, "I was driving home when my car was swept away by the current. I had to jump out as the water rose to my shoulders. I swam toward a tree, and within 20 to 30 minutes, the water level rose by more than 20 centimeters. It was rising too fast." A local resident, Mr. Yang, mentioned that the rapid rise in water levels didn't seem solely due to the rainstorm. Previous floods in Henan have often been linked to reservoir releases, causing significant losses, but authorities have kept this information under wraps. Videos circulating online show severe damage in parts of Nanyang and the counties of Sheqi and Fangcheng. From 7 p.m. on July 16th, upstream waters were released continuously for 10 hours, causing the Tang River in Nanyang to surge overnight, forcing riverside residents to evacuate. Nanyang City, located in southwestern Henan province, covers 26,511 square kilometers and has a permanent population of 9.6 million. It lies in the upper reaches of the Han River and the headwaters of the Huai River, with rivers like the Tong, Bai, Laogan, Dan, Qi, and Tuan rivers flowing into it. It's also the site of the Taocha Canal, the source of the south to north water diversion project's central route. Tonghe County, under Nanyang's jurisdiction, covers 2,512 square kilometers and has a population of about 1.1 million. The county is named after the Tong River, which flows through it and joins the Tongbai River, eventually merging into the Han River at Xiangyang. Recently, continuous heavy rainfall has caused flooding in the Tongbai River, affecting Tonghe and Baihe rivers in Xiangyang's Xiangzhou district. From the evening of July 18th to the early hours of July 19th, the third flood peak entered Xiangyang, combined with regional inflows, causing water rivers in the Tong River below Bukou in Xiangzhou to exceed warning levels. The flooding is reportedly worse than the significant flood in 1975, making flood control efforts critical. Moreover, the rapid release from the Danjiangkou Reservoir exacerbates the flooding in Xiangyang. As the flood peak approaches, residents in low-lying areas must be evacuated. In Xiangzhou's Shuanggou town, low-lying villages like Liudawan, Xiaozhuang, and Zhoulijhuang are inundated, with the roads out of the villages submerged, turning them into isolated islands. On July 19th, the floodwater in Chenghe town, Xiangyang, reached a new height. Villagers worked to reinforce the dikes for the third time to prevent overtopping. Look at how high the water is now. Henan is releasing water again. If the water comes over here, we're doomed. China has nearly 100,000 reservoirs, yet floods occur almost every year. The flood prevention function of the Three Gorges Dam is particularly under question. Some believe that these reservoirs not only fail to prevent floods, but also exacerbate the severity of floods. A design expert for the Three Gorges project, Zhen Shouren, once said, "The Three Gorges is indeed a key component in the Yangtze River flood control system, and it plays a significant role, but its effectiveness varies with different meteorological, hydrological, and flood conditions. It is unscientific and unreasonable to label the Three Gorges as omnipotent or to completely deny its role when floods occur. In fact, since the construction of the Three Gorges Dam, it has severely impacted the ecological environment of the Yangtze River Basin." Huang Xiaolu, host of the Huang Wanli Research Fund program, said in 2020 that if the floods in southern China are black swans, then the flood control pressure of the Three Gorges Dam is a gray rhino, potentially leading to catastrophic disasters. Former Vice Minister of Water Resources once said that the Three Gorges project is much ado about nothing, mocking the decision-makers of the CCP for arbitrarily destroying one of the world's best rivers, resulting in increased flood risks for upstream areas while failing to protect downstream areas like Wuhan and Jiajiang. Since the Three Gorges Reservoir became operational in 2003, new problems have emerged one after another. A report by Shanghai's Xinmin Evening News on June 1, 2011, revealed that Wang Jingquan, deputy director of the Yangtze River Flood Control and Drought Relief Office, admitted that the Three Gorges project had design flaws and did not fully consider the adverse impacts on water storage in Dongting and Poyang lakes. In the summer of 2022, continuous droughts caused Dongting Lake, China's second-largest freshwater lake, to reach its lowest historical water level, exposing much of the lakebed. Prolonged high temperatures dried up the lake, cracked the lakebed, and killed large numbers of fish, shrimp, and freshwater mussels. Flocks of wild birds struggled to find food and habitat, turning the once vast lake into a sprawling grassland. Poyang Lake, China's largest freshwater lake, also nearly dried up, causing widespread concern. Water management experts believe the problem lies in maintaining a low water level of 145 meters during the flood season, rendering it ineffective for flood storage, and retaining water during the dry season, exacerbating drought conditions in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River and Dongting and Poyang lakes.